My name is Guillain-Barré, and I'm sending this testimony from Bloné, Switzerland. I want to thank God for a big relief in my life. For almost 14 years now, I've been relying on cannabis to be able to sleep. When I was living in Israel, because I'm just new in the area, when I was living in Israel, I was having my GP who tried all the best since I gave birth to help me to sleep, because after giving birth to my child, I was not able to sleep. I couldn't sleep at night. I don't know what happened to me. I stopped sleeping. So he tried pills, he tried tablets, he tried everything possible, but it didn't work, or was making the things more worse. Till at some point he prescribed to me some drop of cannabis, which were actually expensive. And my neighbor who was having plans proposed to me to give me gratis in exchange of my basement, who was big, for him to put his plant there. So for years I've been smoking like that. And on January, during the 21 days fasting and prayer, that was one of my prayer points, and God have answered my prayer. Since then, I didn't find the urge to smoke again. When I want to go to sleep, I just go and put my head on the pillow and I sleep. So I wanted to thank God. I want to give him all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise, because this is a big relief for me. And I want to thank you, Pastor Jerry, for waking up every morning to help us, to encourage us, to pray for us, and to stand on the gate for us. Thank you, Pastor Jerry. May the oil on your head never run dry.
Mwabo Emmanuel Ede Enugu State. Ana m ekwupụta ọlụọma ihe Chineke lụrụ na NSPPD. Ana m ewe ahụ ọkụ na 2021. Dọkịta m na-aga na nke problem na-ewe bụ BP m na-adị high steady. Ebe ọbụla m ga dọkịta ọbụla m ga-ehicha ma ọ bụ nnatakwadeti na nne m. Ofu onye nwoke wee osi m na dọkịta ị ga-agarete m na nke na m gaa na nke nọọ ihe gbasara BP ka ọ na-afụ. Ngakwa na nke demand ya ọmọgwụ si m na-eweta ezi ya ga-ese ndị m na m ga-eme PSA. Ọ bụrụ na PSA m ọsị m na ọ dịghịkwa mma, na ọ dịghị mma, ọsị m na m ga-aga eme MRI ka amara otu dịtị osi ndị am na MRI njecha mmadụ gbafụcha m si m oke ihe mere m na MRI ime na-egosi na the cancer no ka nọ inside the prostate. Ọ bụrụ na-eme operation na ga-ewufu prostate, ta cancer ka nọ n'ime ewukwe na m ga-adị free before o spread. Mgbe ahụ nwa nwaanyị si na-ewe ekpere a na-eme na ekpere ahụ na ọtụtụ ndị mmadụ na-ewecha problem cancer na Chineke na-agwọkwa ya. M sị ka ekpere ọgwa m ruo n'abalị otinye m NSPPD m kpecha dị ekpere. M sị na m lakikwa ekpere a na m ga-akọntinu kwa ite ekpere a na-emezi m every night nnata njecha nnata ma na-eme ma ebido na-eme nọgide. M sị dọkịta biko enwere ike ịga megharị test MRI. Ọ sị m na m ga-emegharị. M sị eme nkwọ ka m ga mee maka mgbe ihe na-eme abago m NSPPD ụtụtụ efife ana m ayọ Chukwu na-akpọku ọtọ fire onye m aka then onyeze m akwụkwọ nga mechaa the test butere the result ọmanicha ya si m hai si m Mr. Ede na ọ bụkwa na-eme operation na-agakwa ewe problem. Nche ka ihe na-eme ọ sị m na the cancer espredigo na ahụ m and oto espredigo na ama meuzi the surgeon. Every day anọ m n'ọtọ fire na-ayọ Chineke nna ụdị ọnọdụ a na I'm surprised na 2006 na my wife with breast cancer and then no breast cancer ka ọ ya ọ bụkwa the same cancer bụkwa ihe bịakwa n'ebe nọ ruo ndị na-eme ekpere Pastor J na-asị
prostate cancer I announce we reverse.
Uteje bịakọla osi ndị amụ PSA 0.008 ka testimony. So doctor said na the not okay. Nwekwa the second one nọkwa 0.008. Nwekwa the third one nọkwa 0.008. Ụbọchị dịka tata adị m oke na-asị chi nke Pastorjerryeze God of NSPPD mee m lụọrụ m ọla papa ndị niile nọ na nsogbu ihe ọma imere mekwara ha otu isi gwọọ m n'ọya gwọkwa anyị ndị ọbụla nọ na nsogbu. Ekpere m bụ PASTORJERRYEZE, ihe ọbụla bụ mkpa gị Chukwu ga-eme gị, Chineke ga-agọzi unu. Pastor Jerry, Chukwu just wepụta gị ka i wee na-enye ndị mmadụ aka. Ọ dụghị izi mgbe ndị Abuja anọ m for service ewe ọ gịwa bụ ihe na si na mafụtụ n'obodo ndị mmadụ olukwa na Monday continue kwa the same prayer si na mafụtụ na onye ụdị pastọ nke gosiri na Chineke nọ ya erighi ihe ahụ niile Chukwu na-eme gị ọ na-alụ n'isi ndị mmadụ na nnachi obiligwe ọkwa gaa n'ihu ndị niile nọ na nsogbu onye m na-ewe okwukwe na ihe ọma Chukwu mere na ọ ga-emere ya ọbụla.
I'm Alvin and I'm giving this testimony from Limbe, Cameroon. There was a time I was browsing through my phone and then I saw this lady giving testimony of how the doctor said her baby is dead in her womb. And then she stood up, grabbed her bag and told the doctor what God cannot do does not exist. Went back home, played the "Oh Lord, show me mercy." And then came back after 3 days and her baby was alive. So that testimony captivated my attention on the altar. So I started coming on the altar. I started coming to watch testimonies. Sometimes I would start from the prayer. I was not actually that serious on the altar. And then I discovered that at that time, if there is 9 testimony, 5 women will be giving testimony of multiples. So now I had to join the prayers full swing. So I joined. I now started connecting myself to testimonies, answering amen to prayers about multiple babies. Entered February, March, I missed my period. I now went to the hospital and the doctor told me that I'm pregnant. I said, I complained of too much nausea and everything. So the doctor told me when she was doing the scan, she said, now I understand why you have too much nausea. So the next thing I heard was because you are carrying 2. Pastor Jerry, I couldn't shout. You used to say, how will you shout? I could not shout too. That was my good news. That was what I have been praying for. God gave me that which I asked him for. So Pastor Jerry, the devil appeared with his ugly head. I started bleeding. I bleeded for 20 weeks, Pastor Jerry. There was a day the doctor told me that according to the tests I did, that is miscarriage that is taking place. So I had to go the following day. In the morning when I was preparing to go to the hospital, my phone was actually on charge. The prayers was going on. I went to the bathroom and then I was talking to myself. I said, the nausea is too much. The nausea is too much. I'm tired. If this is miscarriage, then they should do what they want to do and let me rest. And then a voice came again. Are you not on this altar? Haven't you been hearing testimony of us? I said, but wait, oh. What actually captivated my attention was the lady the first testimony that captivated my attention on the altar. I said, but her own baby was 7 months and the baby died. What more me that my own is just blood? And I was sitting at the bathtub at that time. Blood was going down my leg into the bathtub. So now I turn and look at that blood. As I used to hear Pastor Jerry will say, if you don't have faith, the little you have, join it with my own and we'll go for you. I now said, okay, the devil, you're a liar. I said, the little faith I have, I'll join with Pastor Jerry's own. And I now believe that what God cannot do does not exist. What God cannot fix does not exist. I kept saying that and reading until when I left the bathroom, when I entered into the room, the next thing, immediately I stepped into the room and I turned to take my clothes that I had ironed and kept on the bed. The next thing I heard, I don't know who you are. The Lord said I should tell you that you will not miscarry a baby.
I don't know who that woman is. You have been bleeding up until now. You are getting ready to go to the hospital. Oh, say the Lord, the enemy will not touch your baby. The enemy will not touch your baby. The enemy will not touch your baby. If you are that woman, put it on the live stream. Rakata. Let it be reversed.
Jesus. Postbomb ran through my body. I started wondering. I said, who told this man? Is this how I walk on this altar? I used to hear other people that say, okay, the Lord has mentioned my own case too. So now it is done. I now finished, took my phone to the hospital, and then the doctor now checked me and just told me, hey, baby, B is fine, baby. baby A is fine. I say, thank God. Pastor Jerry, that was how I carried my evidence. They are strong, they are healthy. Their names are Chinenye and Onyinyechi. They are strong and healthy. Nothing missing, nothing broken. My babies are fine. They are 2 years, 6 to 7 months now. And I want to say thank you to EL-Roi. Thank you to the God that saw me through. And again, my testimony is a testimony of a changed life. I want to say, Pastor Jerry, thank you for answering this call. Because I'm now a changed person. I'm now a born again. I can pray. I will raise my children in the fear of God. I say, thank you, Pastor Jerry. Indeed, what God cannot do does not exist. We are on the altar. We need they go nowhere. We they pray, they show.
What God cannot do does not exist. We dey pray, He dey show. My name is Grace Temitope from Jos Plateau State. I'm giving this testimony as regards my son. He's 3 years old. On the 3rd of March, he woke up suddenly that he cannot walk again, cannot stand, he cannot do anything. I was surprised because this is a boy that went on his own to go and sleep the previous night. Nothing of any sort was the issue. Only for him to wake up the next day and say he cannot stand, he cannot walk, he cannot do anything. I was thinking he was joking. I carried him to bathe him for school, and immediately I pulled off his clothes. As I removed the shirt, he fell down on the floor flat. And I was surprised, I was shocked. I said, what could this be? 4 days later, there was no changes. I was not seeing any changes. My son cannot move, nothing. And we had to go to the hospital. And the hospital, immediately we got there, they had to admit us to the specialist hospital in Jos here, Jute. Immediately that night we went to Jute and we stayed a week in the hospital. My son was just complaining of pain on his legs, that he's feeling so much pain. He cannot walk, he cannot stand. If you ask him to stand, he'll be crying. And so after they admitted us, they gave us a particular kind of injection for 5 days. They said is to reduce, according to them, there's an immune disorder that the body is fighting against itself. And so when they gave him that injection, after 5 days, there was nothing. They were administering again, and they had to discharge us. They hooked up us with the neurologist. I asked him, I said, what could have caused this? And he said, it's Guillain-Barré syndrome that they suspect, because after doing all the tests they could do that night, everything, there was a particular test they did, it's called lumbar puncture, where they had to bend him to get fluids from his spinal cord. And after doing all those, he's sleeping, he'll be crying, and certain times he cannot turn. When he wants to turn, he'll ask me, he'll wake me up to turn him. He wants to shift his legs, he wants to do anything. I must be the one. He wants to go to the bathroom, he wants to go to the toilet, we have to carry him. And this is a child that is already walking, 3 years old before. And we kept praying, hoping and believing in God. And I said, I'm on the altar, it cannot happen. Who could have afflicted my child? He will not go scot-free. We started praying and praying and praying and praying. On the 5th anniversary of NSPPD, Papa said something in the interview that played at the end of the program. He said that why he cries, because they were asking him that why do you cry on a Wednesday for a day of mercy? And he said he is touched by what people are going through. That's because how do you explain somebody sleeps and wake up, cannot walk?
Every day I am greeted with all kinds of messages. You are seeing all kinds of situations. Let me give you an example. So how do you make this kind of prayer? You see a woman who lost her husband, tried to remarry, loses the second one, and after everything tries to get married a third time, loses the third husband. What sense? How do you start to pray for someone who's had a first child is autistic, second one is autistic, third one is autistic, and the fourth one is autistic? Now, these are the ones you know. Yes. These are the kind of people wake up in the morning and they discover they can't work. How do you, sincerely, except you're a professional, but if you're in touch with their pain, right? And if you're in touch with the way the people are feeling, you know, there are days I wish I can't feel that way, really. There are days when you're done and you come back home and you even cry 4 times, or maybe, what I'm doing is from my heart. What I'm doing is a calling. What I'm doing is what God has called me to do. What people don't understand is that there are days I wish I wasn't feeling this way. Even in my tiredness, when I go up in the night, the thing that jolts me up in the night.
That's my son's case. Oh God, since you have put it in, oh God, since you have put it in his mouth, since you have put it in his mind, oh God, heal my son, heal my son. I was so positive about it. My son can now walk. Not only stand, he can walk by himself. He doesn't need help. This is my son. He's walking on his own. He's moving on his own. He can now walk. See him. Glory be to God. My son can now walk. Oh, glory be to God. See him walking. My child that could not stand before, now he can walk. All glory be to God. We just want to thank God for his healing.
Somebody say